Hi, I'm Tanya, and this is Bible Study Planet. Actually, you're at my art studio today. I have tried to do our second video about 250 times, and every time I record it, something happens. So today, I'm just going to sit here and paint, and while I'm painting, I'm going to talk to you about our second video, not specifically word for word and verse by verse. I'm just going to talk to you about it, and hopefully this one will work out. So, if you haven't been here before, welcome. There's certainly plenty of time to catch up or just jump in where we are. It's okay not to read the first few verses, but Genesis is so packed with action that I hope you will go back and read it at some point. So I was thinking today about the covenants, and I got all excited and wanted to talk to you about them. The first covenant was with Adam, but then we all know what happened with Adam. So then God made a covenant with Noah. Now, do you remember that one? He sent the rainbow and made a promise not to do that again. And then he made a covenant with Abraham. And I've been mostly trying to record about Abraham and about Isaac. And, you know, Abraham took his son up on this mountain and was going to sacrifice him. Human sacrifices were normal in other faiths. And Isaac was not a baby. Sometimes we see pictures where he's depicted as a baby, but he wasn't. He was old enough to get off that thing if he wanted to, but he didn't. They both were making a sacrifice because in their religion, sacrifice was everything about worship. Worship was everything about sacrifice. Anyway, so they couldn't imagine. There's a better way to say it. They couldn't imagine worship without sacrifice. So they go up there, and he's willing to do this because he believes that this is what he's supposed to do. And at the last moment, of course, God says, no, don't do that. Actually, an angel said, don't do that. And he looks over and he sees the ram, which maybe it was there the whole time. I don't know. So he sees the ram in the bush, and that's way too dark. He goes ahead and sacrifices the ram. I'm sure they're both relieved. I can't imagine their conversation on the way back down the mountain. Now, if you do some research, you will realize that this is the same bit of land where eventually Christ was sacrificed. But that's coming much later. In the meantime, what I want to ask you is this. When we worship, how does the sacrifice look? To me, it seems like we worship God, asking Him to sacrifice something for us. It's all about me. It's all about what I'm going to get. I'm going to this worship service so that I can look like I did a good thing. And then I'm going to tell God my wish list of what I want, and He's going to give it to me, right? Boy, I just made a mess. I'll show you what I'm working on. Wait. Oh, I guess I can't turn it around. Okay. I'll do it this way. This is what I'm working on. And I'm maybe making it too dark at this moment. Hold on, let me put this back. Anyway, so this is where my thoughts are going. Is, the sacrifice of Jesus has already been made to us. And so God certainly doesn't owe us anything, but we should not be expecting more from Him at this point in the way of sacrifice. So when we worship, it should be you and me who are doing the sacrificing. Maybe not putting our child on an altar, but giving to Him, sacrificing things to Him, like I'm going to pick on Facebook again. I always pick on Facebook. We're going to sacrifice our Facebook because it's not a good place for our head to be at night before we go to bed. So instead, we're going to listen to some worship. We're going to listen to the Bible on CD. We're going to listen to the Bible app on our phone. There we go. Nothing like dating yourself. So this is the kind of thing I'm thinking about. Where is your sacrifice today? Where should it be? And how can we change our worship? You may have an answer that's more about your corporate worship, how to change a worship service to look more like what, to be more in line with what God wants us to have it, to offer to Him. Because it's not all about dressing and looking and acting the way that we think He wants us to. It's more about actually digging deep and giving what we're supposed to give, if that makes any sense. I hope that makes sense. Anyway, this is video number 2 in our Through the Bible in the Year, and hopefully this one will stay together and get posted, and I'll go on and do video number 3 today also, and I will see you Sunday night. Take care.